What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be previewing round 6. It's Port Adelaide versus Collingwood at the MCG this Saturday at 1:15 p.m. It's the early time slot on a Saturday, and for such a game, I'm a little bit surprised it is being played at this time slot. The ground itself at the MCG, the Pinnacle, this is exactly where we want to be playing at the end of the year, and some good tests along the way throughout the season will give us a good indication of how well we play at this ground. Port Adelaide have already played at the G against Richmond and got the job done there. So another test this week against the Pies, who are coming off the bye, which always spells a bit of danger for the team coming off the bye, because you never really know how they'll react, and it's always been a bit of a black cat when it comes to a team having a bye and never getting a good result after it. So fingers crossed that's the case, but regardless, it's going to be a good test for the Power, and I'm very much looking forward to Saturday's game. So let's get straight into it and preview round 6. Why do we have to play Collingwood after the bye? I just said in the intro that we're playing Collingwood after the bye, and it might be a good thing. You just know they're going to come back refreshed and excited and raring to go, and they're playing back at the G. They've just travelled Adelaide, and they've been travelling to Sydney. They're back at home. They get a good run at home now, and you just know that they come out fit and firing, and we're going to have a bigger test than we have to, and all the rivalry that's there. The last time we played at the MCG against Collingwood, it was a pumping, and it's just one of those things where now we're back there again, and they're coming off the bye. I'm not making excuses. This is a great test for Port. It's very much that we should be setting our eyes on this game in particular, because we've sort of won the games at the G where we needed to, like the Tigers earlier in the year, and the Bombers last year, even though it was great after the Siren win. You want to play the big games against the big teams, and Collingwood is definitely that. So this is a crucial one for Port. It's in the day on Saturday, they're going to come out fit and firing after the bye, and I'm a little bit scared about that, as well as the motivation from Nathan Murphy retiring, and I do send out my congratulations to him on a short career, but definitely one that will still be pinned in the Collingwood memorabilia because of winning a premiership last year, and it's unfortunate they had to retire under such circumstances, so I do wish him well. The negative to it is the fact that it is going to be the game that he will be farewelled against is against Port Adelaide at the MCG. And that's, it happens, everything gets lined up that way, and, you've just got to come against the obstacles, and that's what Port Adelaide will have to do this week. And I do say they come off the bye, they come off fresh, but they do have a couple of injury concerns. Scott Pendlebury fracturing a rib in their previous game. You just never know if he'll pull up, and looking at their side, Finn Macrae looks like the likely replacement in case Scott Pendlebury doesn't come up. They still have a lot of talent. The likes of Bobby Hill can destroy us. The Dacos boys. I think even Brody Myercheck always seems to get in on a couple. They do have a lot of pace and a good movement around the footy. They obviously know the MCG, and it'll be a big matchup for us in the midfield with De Goey. Looked like he found some form against the Hawks there. So this is something we're going to have to come up against. We played a really good, solid brand of football throughout the first 5 games of the year, I think. We've certainly built our way into playing better football compared to what we saw in round 1 to round 5. Our game has definitely evolved in that sense. And I think it does stack up against a Pies outfit who, if you put their defence under enough pressure, they will crumble. We've seen that in games, and even last week against the Hawks, they were pressed and they got comfortable. Once they get comfortable, you can attack them. And not to say that making Collingwood comfortable is the way you want to go, because once they get comfortable, they can get confident and you can go the other way. But I'm saying if you can keep them on their toes and they have to react to things, they're definitely not in a situation where they can win a game of football, compared to if they're being proactive and have the game on their terms. It's very hard and very difficult to switch that. And they're sort of a different team compared to last year as well. So I do think in that sense they are gettable. At the MCG is a tough opportunity, and I say that because Port Adelaide have only travelled once this year, and that is to the MCG. So coming away from home back to the MCG it does question whether or not what's our travelling capabilities like this year. Very hard to tell early on in the season, and it's very hard to tell in general. But overall, I'm very excited for this game. This is the one for me in the calendar where you go, right, you look at our next month, we've got the Pies, we've got the Saints. I think we've got the Showdown, and then we've got somebody else in there as well. And I think the Cats is the other one, which is a travel down to Cardinia Park, which is never fun. So the next month is crucial for Port. So if we can see ourselves going 5-1, you beat the Pies at the MCG, you almost get into the bracket of, all right, everyone starts to think, right, you are one of the contenders for this year at this early stage. And, we've seen the graphics come out. Oh, we're in the Premiership window, thanks to the Fox Footy graphic of the Premiership window. The defence is solid and the attack is solid. We're third in defence, third in attack. It's 5 rounds of the year. You look at the opposition. We've played a D side that are pretty good. We've played an Essendon outfit who are hit and miss. We played Freo who are very good defensively. We played the Tigers outfit who have been hit and miss as well. They were good on their day, but also terrible against the Eagles. And then West Coast, who have 1 win for the year. So you just gotta. It's really still hard to tell, and I think this one in particular for me is the one where I sit here and go, if Port win this, I'm confident that now we have a bracket for the first quarter of the year to say we're in good hands. We're capable of doing things, and we're not getting ahead of ourselves, and we're still under the radar. And I like that for Port Adelaide, because if we become April premiers or June premiers again, it means nothing. And I don't want to call us premiership contenders or us going to be contend, because it's too early. But I take it one game at a time, and the game against Collingwood is the first test for me to go, right, tick that box, MCG, beat the Pies. And that's all that this week is. Look at selection for this week. I think Jed McEntee will come out of the side, being the sub. I don't think Boak comes in, if I'm honest. And I think, going by the reports during the week, he's training with the group. I think he's still lingering, maybe in doubt. Could be the sub. I'm not 100% sure. But no, I'm recording this on a Wednesday afternoon. So for this to come out in a day, pretty much, I look at it and go, I don't think Boak plays. McEntee comes out. Who comes into the side? It's tough to see anyone really make a standpoint. Josh Sin maybe would be a good choice. Obviously we need a small forward, so maybe Francis Evans. He kicked 2 on the weekend, so I think he's probably the most likely replacement. But it's hard now with Sam Powell-Pepper in the side. So do you look at replacing something in particular and something else, because you've got so many rotations through that small forward bracket? It's hard. It's really, really interesting to see. So not a lot of selection talk there, but it's probably one to watch in my opinion. And definitely one with the Pies. You really want to get underneath their defence and really make sure you pressure. I mean, we see early on in the games, a forward line pressure in particular is crucial. So maybe they do play Jed, because he does have that forward pressure. Maybe go in unchanged. It's hard to tell, but I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, Port fans, because I know a lot of people don't want to keep Jed in the side, and I completely understand that, and I see factions of why. But also at the same time, it's the stuff he does off the ball and the pressure that makes him capable. But being subbed out in a game when there's no injuries, doesn't prove likely for him to continue on this week. But yeah, other than that, I think we structure nicely, so I wouldn't be making too many changes. Just before I finish up, my tip for this week, I'm going to tip Port Adelaide. I think we're the better side in terms of form. I'm definitely not doubting Collingwood's capabilities. I know they have, they're a premiership side. They're going to be playing at the G in front of their fans. The fans are vocal. We'll have a good travelling contingent, but I don't know, something about this says if it's our sort of year, if it's our time, you've got to win these games, and we haven't beaten the Pies at the G in a while, so I'm tipping us by 11 points in a close one, and hopefully it'll be a good contest, and nothing too, out there, nothing. I think it'll be fiery, but all in good spirits, and I would like a good clean contest and win this game without any injuries or any suspensions. Well, everyone, let me know your comments below, your thoughts about this game. It's going to be an absolute beauty. I'm very much looking forward to it at the MCG this Saturday. I'll be playing footy at the time that they'll be playing, so it'll be very hard to watch the game live, but I can't wait to read everyone's comments afterwards and see the result, and hopefully come off the ground going, well, we won, so happy days. So let's hope that is the case. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. Check out the Glass Table, the previous episode there. We made our AFL team full of wrestlers, which was absolutely fun, so make sure you check that out. And overall, I'm looking forward to this week, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and my name's Anthony, and as always, come the pair.